The mid-2000s, a revolutionary idea was born. Groupon, a play of words between group and coupon. It would later become a platform sending millions of emails with attractive local deals. Groupon brought people together for group discounts. Strangers would unite for savings. Yet, Groupon's journey was a rather declining one. From a rapid expansion, a flawed model, and fierce competition that challenged its success, we'll unravel these piece by piece. In fact, Groupon almost failed before it even existed. So, stay tuned, hit that like button, subscribe, and prepare to be intrigued as we unravel this story. Before Groupon, there was The Point, a website whose mission was to improve the online funding experience. This was made possible when investor Eric Lefkowski saw potential in young Andrew Mason, soon to be a Groupon founder, who was working on his first project, a crowdfunding website. From there, The Point was created to center around reaching a tipping point to achieve shared goals. While the message sounded good in concept, the reality looked bleak when the site traffic failed to show promise. Investors who had backed the young startup getting impatient, and in a last-ditch effort, Mason, desperate to keep his investors, saw promise in how the effective campaigns in The Point were those that gave group consumers buying power. Picture this: you receive an email showcasing an irresistible offer, say a 50% discount on your favorite restaurant's gourmet meal. The catch? The deal only activates if a certain number of people express interest. This dynamic approach to collective buying power resonated with consumers, creating a buzz that at the time was nothing short of revolutionary. This would be the catalyst that signaled the end of The Point and give birth to Groupon. Groupon came into existence in 2008, a year of significant technological innovation when pioneering startups were challenging traditional industry norms. Founded by Andrew Mason, the company emerged during a period of economic uncertainty, introducing a fresh and innovative approach to online shopping that swiftly captured the attention of a broader audience. Its swift ascent, starting from its Chicago origins and extending to global prominence, marked a revolution in e-commerce, forever altering the way people discover and engage with appealing discounts from neighborhood businesses. In a remarkably short time, it transformed from a mere startup into a billion-dollar operation. The image of unbeatable deals, coupled with the thrill of collective purchasing, drew millions of users to the platform. Groupon was the talk of the town, and its rapid rise captured the imaginations of entrepreneurs, investors, and the general public alike. Groupon's fast rise did not go unnoticed in the digital industry. Now enter Google, the tech giant that brought us YouTube and wanted a piece of the action. In 2010, they offered a whopping $6 billion in front of Groupon to acquire the company. It wasn't just a big deal, it was a hold the phone, this could change everything kind of offer. Google saw Groupon as the missing piece to turbocharge their local advertising game. However, Groupon didn't even bat an eye before saying no to Google's offer. This decision raised many eyebrows from experts all around the globe. Did Andrew Mason see something they didn't? Or was he overconfident about the potential of Groupon? In its early days in the second quarter of 2010, a little over a year since Groupon's birth, they raised over $135 million in funding and over $1 billion in total valuation, potentially rivaling YouTube. So maybe Mason did have a plan. And it wasn't just overconfidence. In November of 2011, Groupon shocked the world with its wildly successful initial public stock offering. By day's end, Groupon's valuation soared past $16 billion, surpassing the worth of numerous conventional retailers, such as Whole Foods, Best Buy, and Bed Bath & Beyond. This was way bigger than Google's, who offered to acquire Groupon the year prior. But 2012 would prove to be a rather rocky year for Groupon. Imagine that you have invested $200 during its launch. 12 months later, you would find that the value of your investment would be down to $40. And today, 2023, virtually nothing. This is what happened to millions of investors who bet on Groupon. But how did this happen? How could something that sounded so promising plummet to unthinkable depths? Before finally being launched, there were several instances where Groupon almost failed before being able to reach the public market. This was made evident in its The Point origins. But more than that, one of the key investors and co-founders of Groupon who saw potential in Andrew Mason, Andrew Lefkowski, had a pretty notorious past in terms of failed ventures and messy declines. A notoriety that would prove to be just the case later on for Groupon's downfall. If you put that and Mason's overall background together, you'd have a sandcastle waiting to crumble. Groupon grew astonishingly fast, with a relatively new and attractive concept of group purchasing power in a time in the economy where people wanted to get the good deals and businesses were desperate for customers. Groupon served as a good bridge to stimulate spending. However, Groupon's concept, while innovative, wasn't that hard to replicate, and within months, they had a lot of different knockoffs and imitators around the globe. And they weren't prepared for this effect of their growth. Groupon didn't have time to breathe, and tried to deal with these limitations through various acquisitions. In the midst of their rapid growth, the humorous character of their CEO and goofy branding of the company would backfire. There was a clear lack of direction to how the company should brand itself, which in turn would be the reason why they drew a lot of flack when they introduced the company nationally through an infamous Super Bowl ad. So while Groupon wanted to stand out amidst the standards that were placed by companies in the area, they stuck out like a sore thumb instead. This was in the end in the list of poor decisions made under the leadership, or lack thereof, of Andrew Mason. While their brand's unseriousness was hurting the company already, discrepancies in accounting figures would exacerbate these damages. They had to restate a lot of figures in their reports to account for variables that were seemingly neglected. This would, in turn, hurt their already suffering reputation even more with how they were presented to the public. Finally, in 2013, Mason was fired from his post as Chief Executive Officer. It's interesting that even by then, he chose to respond in a humorous way he addressed employees. However, this firing was nothing more than a symbolic gesture, because even after they removed the figurehead, the problem wasn't solved. This was acknowledged by co-CEO Eric Lefkowski when he addressed his employees. From failing to save itself through Google's generous offerback, to the underpreparedness and overall lack of expertise in how Groupon was managed, the reality reflected steady losses for the company instead of sharp rises. Over the years after Mason's exit from the scene in 2013, the only constant thing with Groupon was change in leadership. Lefkowski left by 2015, and Rich Williams, his successor, got ousted shortly. By 2020, Aaron Cooper, who joined Groupon in 2010, was barely able to hold everything together, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic. There were a lot of restructuring that happened. Thousands were laid off, and deals and discount offers dwindled. Overall, Groupon's business model was bad. Sure, it was good in the short run when it was established because it was what the economy needed. But as things played out, it revealed that Groupon's partners incurred more losses than gains due to how the business model was structured. By 2023, Groupon has lost 99.4% of its value since its IPO, bringing the company down to a current market value of $541 million, a far cry from its initial $16 billion launch. It's a story of audacity, rapid growth, and the complexities of navigating the ever-evolving e-commerce landscape. But what do you think? What has your personal experience been with Groupon? Was Groupon foolish enough in not accepting Google's offer for acquisition? In the fast-paced tech industry, when should a company hold firm to its vision, and when should it seize an opportunity to join forces with a tech giant? What factors should they consider in making such a critical decision? If this video has piqued your curiosity, don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe to stay tuned for more captivating business narratives. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. We'll see you in the next video.